Now you say you're working in a space to enhance women entrepreneurs, right? Am I right? Good.
Yes, women entrepreneurs in the tech space.
Okay, in the tech space. Okay, okay. So the tech space in Africa, what is the proportion of women in that space, and what's happening in that space for women?
It's a very interesting space for women right now. About 30% of the population of that space are women, and
Okay,
even lower when it comes to women who lead. So, women in the C-suite, women who are founders, it's around 1 to 3%, depending on 1 to 5%, depending on the African continent, the
okay,
African country you're in. So, that's where it's at.
okay,
And it's a very new space, right? So it's very upsetting, if that's the right word, that women are so far behind. And that raises a lot of questions that I hope we'll be able to talk about today.
okay. Now, you see, the tech space in Africa as a whole, we are behind.
Yeah.
Okay, we are behind. Uh, so tell me, why are women not at the same or similar level like the men? See, I will preface this as this way. Tech is about things, and women as a whole, as a group of people, you guys like things that are more relationship based, okay? And tech is things, manipulating things, inanimate things, and that's my that's my thinking, okay? Tell me if I'm wrong. I think that might be one of the reasons why there are not so many women there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I wouldn't say you're exactly wrong.
Okay.
Yes, women, the research, psychological research, does show that women tend to be much more attuned with their emotions. So they do better in relationships. If you look at the numbers, right,
Mm,
to our male counterparts. But innovation and ideas, it shouldn't affect the space
okay.
because look at how women perform in education from primary, nursery, primary, secondary.
Yeah.
That number drops down when it gets to the university, but the women do way, way better than their male
Okay.
counterparts in university, in school,
Okay.
rather. In education, they score higher. But that number does drop when it gets to higher education. So you can look at the HESA data. So HESA is the data that higher education institutions in the UK use to
Mm,
to monitor these kind of numbers, right?
okay.
You can look at that and see what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with why women aren't in the space.
Okay.
A lot of the times, there are so many factors, but one factor that affects women in the space is the need. When you look at our kind of culture, you can't throw our culture away. I'm talking from a Nigerian perspective, a sub-Saharan perspective, where women are believed to be in the background. And
Okay.
when you come to the foreground, it faces a lot of resistance. So
Mm,
I can also ask you, why is your default belief
okay.
that because women are
Okay.
better at
I would like to tell you that.
Yes,
See,
please.
I'm a I'm a guy who grew up as an only son. Okay. I was surrounded all through my childhood by my sisters, my cousin, my female cousins, you know. And as a grown man, I'm also surrounded by women. I have three daughters. Three of them are teenagers right now. In fact, my second daughter just finished her A levels exams yesterday.
Wow,
She wants to study mathematics. She's very good at it. Okay, she's very, very good at it. And I will tell you one thing. I've tried to cajole them into getting into, even to watch documentaries that are not about relationships. They don't. They refuse. So for me, I've tried to
But
bring my daughters to my world, but they just refuse. See, just before I started, my second daughter just called me. She wanted to. I told her, "Oh, I'm going to do something." Okay, she come up. She'll call me back. Every time she calls me, we spend hours on the phone. Okay, and tomorrow she'll be with me again. We spend hours on the phone talking about our classmates, what happened in school, this, that, so we do that. I give her a lot of time to talk about all those things. But if I try to bring the discussion to where I am, which is more likely about things, she's not very interested. Okay, so for my own little experience, it shows that somehow you guys are not very, very interested in those little things. Now, to tell you one thing, I don't think innovation should be men-led all the time. No. See, because one thing, you women are the people who buy things a lot. All the things that technology produces, most of them are bought by women. So you guys hold the family purse. So it will be very important that you guys get involved in designing, and innovating most of the products you guys use. But
well, there are a lot of things to say to that. But the very first thing I would like to say is that the women around you and the women you have in your house that you live
yes,
with, like a Barack Obama,
yes,
they're a very, very minute size of
yes, I know.
Yes, and so we accept that. But when you look at the innovation that exists in the world today, Facebook is a communication relationship bumble.
Yes,
A lot of these innovation are things that have to do with interactions, right?
yeah,
So that could be a strength. But something that did come out of my research from
yes,
women I spoke to was the fact that a lot of them were introduced to computers at a very young age. And
okay,
they sort of had that instinct to want to create. So
okay,
innovation does not always have to be things. That's why software is not a thing. Software, you sit, you write code, right?
yes,
That
it's a
would be,
thing.
if it is a thing,
Yes,
according to your
yes,
definition, yes,
yes.
there are more women that get into that. There are women.
Oh, very good, very good.
As I was saying about the women who get introduced into tech very early. For example, myself, I'm in this space because I loved watching cartoons and I wanted to be an animator. And this
Okay,
was way, way back in the 90s. I had the opportunity, by virtue of how I grew up,
yeah,
to have access to computers when they came out very, very early, like the Pentiums and those very old, archaic operating systems. Used to use them, Coral Draw. I was very interested in animation. And as I continued to evolve in that space, I decided I wanted to help more people, more women
yeah,
specifically, get into the space. So what I'm doing is a thing, right?
okay,
It is a thing that has brought me to your
yes,
platform.
yes.
So I think we should redefine things.
Well, maybe when enough of women get into doing things, you guys
Well,
can now redefine it.